the way that we find it to be made into something that we practice from the moment that our staff walk in to the moment that they leave. It's just by implementing standards and policies and procedures. So it's like we have all the appropriate recycling and compost bins set up so that it's easy, because there's nothing worse than being super busy in the moment and not making it as accessible as just throwing something in the garbage. So we try and only throw out 1 bag of garbage a day. So what that means is to have the other bins set up near the garbage so that we can dispose of and minimize our waste accordingly. I guess I would also touch on training. So training staff on those procedures from the beginning and from the first time that they do orientation with us. So it's mostly like instilling the mindset, I think, of our practices from the very beginning.
Awesome.
Totally. So, I mean, if I was to speak to, let's say, takeout containers, for example, ours are compostable. We use compostable cups, cutlery, all that sort of stuff. And definitely if you were comparing invoices of all that compostable takeout stuff to the styrofoam and other plastics that we see that are so prevalent, yeah, it's definitely going to cost a lot more, which is, I think it just goes to speak to your values and like what you're willing to be okay with and what you're willing to spend a little bit more money on in the short term, so that in the long term our world is a better place to live in for generations to come. And I think that the consumer, and myself included, when I'm choosing a place to go eat or purchase food from, sometimes ultimately it does just boil down to the cost, because we all are living on budget. So it's kind of a challenge sometimes to explain all that to the consumer, and that our prices might be a little bit higher, but you can always be assured that the food you eat here is coming from locally sourced farms, stores that sort of like community, where like all of our suppliers are the same as community suppliers. So you know that it's good quality food that was made from scratch and with love if you eat here, but definitely the cost has to show through on that side as well. So that's kind of a downfall in some people's opinion.
Yeah.